we've talked about Venus a lot. There's so much
Hmm.
to talk about with Venus, but we haven't done specifically how to like one-to-one translate your placement into the real world expression. And that
Yeah.
was exciting to me to talk about, but not necessarily to talk about like if you have Venus in Aries, you should wear red, because you can find that on Google. You can find that list everywhere. What I want to do with Chelsea today is talk about how do you work with the planetary placements as parts when we're thinking about self-expression or personal style. And both of us are really interested in personal style. So we have that as like the background of this.
You're listening to Parts and Charts. I'm Chelsea Owens, a therapist certified in internal family systems, and my co-host, KP Kajabowski, is an astrologer. We're testing the theory that IFS and astrology are mapping the same inner territory. Every episode, we put that to the test. Glad you're here.
Hi, Chelsea.
Hi. Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's been a while.
It's been a while, except it hasn't been a while since we've seen each other.
Do we want to show what we got together?
What did we get?
Is yours visible?
Oh, it's not. Yep. What's right there? I had to take off my shirt in order to do that, but
So Chelsea and I got together and we got a tattoo with our friend Iris. Yeah.
So KP was here. We took a week off from the pod so that we could hang out in person. And we had our workshop in person. It was so beautiful, so fun to facilitate. And then immediately we went and got a tattoo.
Yeah.
And I walked, that was the most impulsive thing I've ever done, KP. And I have a few tattoos, but KP so graciously invited me to come with her and her friend Iris to go get a tattoo. KP's first. And I was like, hell yeah, I want to come. And I didn't have any idea of what I was going to get. Just came into the tattoo studio like on a whim, thinking like, I'm going to get whatever. And at the last second, I was like, should I just get what you're getting?
Yeah, the artist had already made the mock-up, so
Yeah. And
ready.
some people are weird about that. I think some people are very much like territorial, like this is my tattoo only, like I don't want anyone else to get it. And so I'm very grateful that you allowed me into the club. And
I think it also works very well because the tattoo isn't Iris or mine's either, because it's the letterhead for Gertrude Stein and Alice B. Toklas. So it's already not ours.
Yeah,
and like
to claim.
there's there's infinite possibility for people to put that on their body and it still feel like, it feels like we're sharing anyway. So yeah. Come on.
So we did it.
So yeah, it's that the letterhead, if you're not looking at the screen, if you don't know, is a rose is a rose is a rose, the sentence, and it's like in a circle, like continuously looking like that. Yeah. So it means so much to me and to Iris, and now it means so much to Chelsea. So yeah, it was really nice to get that.
I'm gonna write an essay about it, and because now I need to like actually do more of a deep dive into Gertrude Stein's world, and so that's cool. I've never like gotten a tattoo and then become a fan of it,
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
Yeah. But when we were getting the tattoos, it occurred to me that in the tarot, almost every Pamela Colin Smith illustration has a rose in it. And that's how we met, is through the tarot. So it works.
So it checks out. Yeah. It's not like we were getting each other's names or anything, or like faces or something. Yeah. Which also would have been cool. But yeah. So we had a wonderful time. We took a lot of photos. We got like 100 years of content of just
100 years.
And like laughing about it the entire time.
I was telling people that Chelsea Sweet Novembered me, which is that movie that's set in San Francisco. I didn't know that. Where Charlize Theron takes in Keanu Reeves, who he plays a character that is like a workaholic, and Charlize Theron shows him how to live. That's how it felt staying with Chelsea. Like in between, like, I don't know, it blows my mind that like the way that you live is so outside of the clock, and also you're very responsible with the clock. Like you show up to your client calls on time, and also in between your client calls, you go to the park, which is like really conveniently a block away, Golden Gate Park. And then, you paint, you do something, and you come back for your next client call. That's exciting to me.
That's really cool that you reflected that. I really am always trying to squeeze as much life as I can, like,
Yeah.
into a, 12-hour day or whatever, how long I'm awake, but I've never had that reflected to me that I am both, like, a clock watcher and also I try to live as much outside of that as I can.
Yeah.
It's like I really do, like, value having some kind of routine, but I also need a ton of variety every day, and I can't do the
Yeah.
same thing every day. But I also, like, I'm not living chaotically, like, I couldn't live with so
Right.
much variety that I'm like, "I don't know where I'm gonna do tomorrow or where my next meal is coming from," like, I couldn't really live that way, but
Yeah, that would not be a
yeah,
sweet November for me if you were completely just, like,
unruly.
tugging me along and, like yeah. No, it was not we ate breakfast, we didn't
Yeah,
completely shirk
yeah,
human responsibility. Yeah, it was
yeah.
wonderful. But it's nice, like, it's been a week since basically I've been with you, and I live, like, 4 blocks away from a huge lake, like, one of the Great Lakes, and in between my client calls, I could go to that lake, and
You
so I have been doing
could.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh,
Instead of,
yeah.
like usually what I do is I wash my hands, I read a book in between, and then I, like, get ready, I prepare for my next client call. Like, I'm still in the same room. Yeah. I need to be more of an outdoor cat.
You do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wanna tell you what to do, but, like, yeah,
No, I do. I
as
do.
a very much outdoor cat, yeah, I support that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our update. I think that we need to do a parts and charts offsite every month,
Yeah. We
if that's
do.
possible. Yeah.
We do. We do.
Yeah.
Mhm. Next
And
time in
before
the
we
Midwest.
yes, yes, come to the lake. It's so beautiful. Okay, so before we jump into today's podcast about dressing for your Venus sign, we'll get into how we're going to talk about that. I did want to uh, have Chelsea talk about her oracle deck that I have in front of me.
Mm. Are you gonna pull a
Because
card?
I will, but
Do
it's
it.
it's very near coming out into the world, right? So,
Yeah,
do you want to talk a little bit about it?
we're really trying to make this push. I've been sitting on it for so long, as you know, and you've been so helpful in like supporting getting this out there because I'm on my own timeline, so I'm not really pushing myself. And I really want it to be out in the world. So we're getting so close. I finished the booklet. I need to now focus on printing and figuring out, yeah, which printer to go with and then having a pre-sale or Kickstarter, however I want to do it. So I'm really gonna push myself to get this out into the world, into everybody's hands now. It has
Yeah,
to happen. Jupiter
yeah.
just went into Leo. This has to happen now.
Mhm.
Am I right?
Another thing that I don't know if you wanna talk about, but you did, like, the coolest thing in the research phase of, like, contacting people who had oracle decks out into the
Yeah.
world and, like,
Right.
sitting with them over Zoom and asking them questions,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I love
Yeah.
that you did that.
It was
Like,
your
you
idea,
drove
girl. You told me to do it. Yes.
I forgot about that.
And it had never occurred to me. I was like, yeah, that is a really good idea. And that's so I'm compiling all of that information as well and like cross referencing like this person used this printer, or, like they did that. So and everyone was different. So like that's why I'm also needing to go back to all of that data and look at like what's the best like what's going to work for me because everyone's so different. So I can't necessarily use everyone else's blueprint, but
Yeah,
definitely using some of that data and applying it to my path. Yeah.
yeah. You met with a celeb in our circles, considered a celeb, and there's a cautionary tale in that about going to, like, I forgot what publisher it was, but a big publisher, and how
Oh
there's
yeah.
a huge trade-off when you do that, but yeah, that was
Right.
interesting
I
to learn
know.
through you.
Totally. I know, right? Yeah. How it's like,
Yeah,
and I guess maybe that's just common in the publishing industry in general that it's the trade off is that you may not make that much money from when your product is actually out there on the shelves, right? Depending on what your contract is or, what percentage you're getting. And
yeah,
that's true of books too, isn't it? That it's like not easy. It's like helpful to get in advance and like have somebody take care of everything for you. And then it's out in the world and then it's not really yours anymore, right? It's
yeah,
like they kind of own it. And yeah. So I guess there's trade offs for both.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm going to pull a
in the
card.
show notes I will pull a card. But I wanna say in the show notes, there is a link to
Mhm.
sign up for, like, getting
The
alerts when
updates. Yeah.
updates, yeah. If you wanna know when there's
Yeah.
pre-sales
When
or
it's going to drop.
whatever,
Yeah.
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 I got
Yeah.
communication.
Ooh, that makes sense for today. I
Yeah.
mean, that one's like, I mean, obviously, since we're on our pod, but it's about like bridging the gap between worlds, like, or you're between worlds and you're bridging this gap between Earth and the cosmos. And that's what we do here.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's on a lot of our like Instagram posts. I choose that one
Oh, that
often.
one is? Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, maybe last year I chose it often. We've been using a lot of the collages from Chelsea's deck on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a good preview of what the deck looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes, I am. This
Okay.
is going to be
So
so fun.
this is kind of a request from my sister-in-law, Hallie. So if you're listening,
Really?
hi, Hallie. But she asked, like, have you ever done an episode on how to dress for your Venus sign? And I said no. We've talked about Venus a lot. There's so much to
Mhm.
talk about with Venus, but we haven't done specifically how to like one-to-one translate your placement into the real world expression. And that
Yeah.
was exciting to me to talk about, but not necessarily to talk about like if you have Venus in Aries, you should wear red because you can find that on Google. You can find that list everywhere. What I want to do with Chelsea today is talk about like how do you work with the planetary placements as parts when we're thinking about like self-expression or personal style. And both of us are really interested in personal style. So we have that as like a the background of this and we've experimented a lot with our personal style. I've personally used my birth chart to inspire me and to like see the edges of what I'm comfortable wearing and expressing.
Mhm.
And also I've done parts work to help me see like what I want the world to see and what I want to hide and that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
that's what we want to talk about today.
Mhm.
Chelsea, what's coming to mind first for you?
Remember when you were doing those, you were doing like birth chart readings that wasn't like a full birth chart reading, but you like made a vision board or mood board of just like style of just outfits and accessories and a vibe like based on, I don't remember what you were basing it off of, like if it was one sign or the whole chart. You did that
The
for
whole
some of our
chart.
friends and it was so cool. It was like, it was, I if anybody listening to this wants to pay you for that, I think you should. If you're needing like a just inspiration for your personal style, or you want to have like some kind of glow up right now, or want to redo your whole wardrobe, or like just a different vibe, which I think is a great time for doing that with Jupiter and Leo.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like and I think this is a great way if you're one of those people that's like, I don't know where to begin. And but you're like you're curious about style or fashion or like having more of an identity around that, like what maybe your statement pieces are or like
Yeah.
what your I don't know, your basics or foundations should be. And if you're like really lost in that, I think like look to the birth chart and KP can help you with that. She's a whiz. Like she'll make the coolest design of a mood board for this purpose. And you'll be like, yes, like this is where I should go. So reach out.
Yeah, I'm open to that, but you have to reach out and specifically request it because it's not an offering that I
Yeah.
have publicly.
Yeah.
But on that is I was not looking just at the Venus. And oftentimes I wasn't looking very much at the Venus in the chart
Really?
because there's like literally unlimited amount of data points in a birth chart. And
Yeah.
like your rising sign changes everything. Your Vesta,
Yeah.
your series, like the asteroids can change things. And
Really?
for example, like I have Vesta. Vesta is a really important asteroid to me because she's the goddess of devotion
Hmm.
of the Vestal Virgin. So Vesta like kept the fire going, and that's really important to me at this season in my life, or maybe forever in my life,
Right.
as someone who writes long form novels and poetry books. So Vesta being in Capricorn for me in my first house is really, really important to my style. And I don't think that is going to be the first thing that's talked about just like on TikTok.
Hmm.
So it's a really personal process. And when I was doing that with people, I asked them a lot of questions about like, what are your cultural edges, your barriers? Like, how important is it that you have your culture or your ancestry speak to your clothing and that kind of stuff? And then I
Yeah.
would go in. So it was birth chart and it was also kind of an interview. And also like, where do you live? Like, if you live in the Arctic, I'm not going to give you a bunch of
Yeah.
tank tops.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds so cool.
It was
Yeah.
fun. So on
Yeah.
that, like, you've been doing Newly for a bit. How does that feel as, like,
Not
a
an
way to,
ad,
like
but sponsor me, yeah.
yeah, that's like a way to
Mhm.
practice what feels good for your parts, for your planets, for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, if any of my newly folks are out there, I wanna hear what your experiences are like. Because I haven't really been like I wanna say mainstream or like I haven't really been into like new clothing very often in the last 10 years. Like I don't really shop at like new like stores that have new clothing. Like,
Yeah,
I was very into vintage or, like, smaller indie brands or even making my own clothes, but and for whatever reasons, like, I don't know, probably capitalism or, just not trying to be too much of a consumer, I was, like, very, like, anti, like, "I don't wanna get new clothes," or and they also just, like, never really spoke to me or, like, where do you even buy clothes in person anymore? Like, I
yeah,
live in a city, and I feel like I walk around town, and I'm like, "Where would I go to get X, Y, and Z. Like, I sometimes I go to the Gap because I love their basics. Shout out to Gap, I love you. But other than that, I'm like, or it's an expensive boutique where like I could afford a $300 item. No.
yeah.
So it's just like I don't know where to go in person anymore. So I think I kind of just forgot about shopping in person and shopping for like new clothing items. So then I started Newly because I had to go to a wedding last fall, and I was like, what do I wear to this? And somebody recommended just getting like a few dresses from Newly and then taking your pick, and it was so fun. And then I just like didn't cancel it. So then I was just like, okay, I guess I got to pick my clothes for the next month. And then it was, like, fun, like, I was like, "Okay, like, I'm gonna get something that's totally out of my comfort zone or, like, something I don't have in my closet at all, try that out, see what it feels like." And then I was just trying these different styles and different silhouettes and things that I've never had before, and, yeah, they're all, like, newer brands or, like, kinda mainstream brands, but it was really fun, and then you send it back or you can keep it, but it's kind of fun to just wear something for a month and then send it back,
I
and
think also it takes a month to know if a clothing piece will last,
yeah.
for your life.
I know.
Because I
Mhm.
think a lot of the times when I go out shopping, or even online or in person, I have like an aspirational idea of what I want to wear, and then it gets to me and it's like it
Yeah.
fits and it's cute, but like I'm never gonna
Yeah.
wear this out in public or even at home. And so
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, my imagined self is different from my real self.
I also think that, like, I don't wanna make this a geographic thing, but I think I was socialized with that belief in the Midwest too, that, like, I don't wanna, like, be too much or outshine anybody or look like I'm trying really hard or I don't know, like, especially in my culture, like Eastern European, Polish people who are, like, farmers, it
Yeah.
you don't, like, brag about yourself, right? And that includes, like, dressing in a certain way where you would be getting attention or, like, would be getting or it would be assumed that you have a lot of money or something. Like, you're supposed to be really, like, humble, and that includes, like, how you present yourself, how you dress, what you wear. I still hear, like, my family members will say things like that, like, "Oh, I can't wear that, like, that's for, I don't know, other people," or
Yeah.
yeah, like, there's this way of kind of dimming yourself a little bit and not wanting to stand out too much that
Yeah.
I feel like I was kind of always internally battling and until kind of I moved to the coast or like got a little bit older and started giving myself a little bit more freedom to be a little bit more wacky with my clothing.
Yeah.
And mhm.
It seems like a theme in your life. 'Cause I think you've said this on the podcast. You've mentioned that friends in the past said that the way that you style yourself is a costume. That was, like, a long time ago,
My
and
friend,
now it
yes,
feels yeah.
yes. No,
Yeah.
one of my friends was like, in a very endearing way, because she has known
Yeah.
me for a while, but she was like, you used to dress a little bit more like a clown, and now you dress like you're like a little bit more refined. And I know exactly what she's talking about because I used to wear like patterned jumpsuits and like with crazy patterns or like fun illustrations and patterns on patterns. And it was a lot more clown-like. I was intentionally trying to stand out and be unique,
Yeah.
and now I'm really toned down. I still, like, wanna stand out or be unique in a different way, but it's just, like, a little bit more elevated, or I think it's just a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
I don't feel as much like I'm a kid. I'm a
Yeah.
woman.
Like walking around with you in your neighborhood, which is a little bit of a quieter neighborhood in San Francisco,
Mhm.
you were wearing the most color for sure.
For sure. Mhm.
Everyone else was wearing like Blundstones and jeans, like,
I know. It's very,
chore
like,
jacket.
surfer aesthetic over here,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
And
and
you're
I just love, like, going through different phases too, like, my clown phase and now I think, during COVID times, I kinda went through, like, this more utilitarian, potato farmer, who is, like, a
yeah.
mother of 4 type of vibe, even though I'm, like,
Mhm.
not those things, but just, like, more, like, billowy shirts, like, maybe more natural fabrics and more, like, kind of earthy tones, natural dyes. Not frumpy, but, like, it maybe could be considered frumpy, but also, like, you could walk around and, like, till the land if you had to, you
Yeah.
know? And now I'm kinda getting away from that. I don't really know what I'm into now. I feel like I'm still into a lot of color, like bright pinks, oranges, red orange, and I think I'm gonna experiment a little bit with, like, the Crayola casual, like
Yeah.
really bright. Like last week, I wore like these bright red crochet pants
Cool.
with a teal halter top. And I was like, I really like this kind of you like 90s United Colors of Benetton, like multicolor, but like random colors together type of vibe. So I don't
Yeah.
know if that's my Venus or I don't know, that's just what I'm gravitating towards right now.
So what I'm thinking about while you're talking is that the typical placements that people say, like dress for your Venus or like your personal style with astrology, it's your rising sign, your Venus, and your moon. Those are the three things usually people point out. All three of them for you are in Yang signs. So your rising is Leo, your moon is Leo, and your Venus is Gemini. Those are all Yang
Oh,
signs. And then all of mine are in yin signs. So my moon is in Cancer, my Venus is in Scorpio, and my rising is Capricorn. And when you were dressing me last week when I was visiting, I was like, no, this is no, 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 no. Like you can wear that because I do resonate with like I want to be more I'm not showy with the way I dress, even though my mom would say different. She would say that I also wore a lot of patterns on patterns, but they were
mhm.
like
Yeah.
patterns in the same color, like
Yeah, they're
blue
like
or
muted
brown.
patterns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
definitely more yin. Yeah. So something to think about if whoever's
Interesting.
listening, like, is there a pattern? Like, are all of your placements in feminine or yin signs? And maybe that can give you a clue of like what is your natural expression.
And
That could be
Capricorn
something.
is yang or yin? Sorry, Capricorn's
Yeah.
yin?
Yeah, it's an
Really?
earth sign.
That's like so surprising to me.
Yeah, all earth signs are yin and all water signs are yin.
Wow. All fire and air are yang.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
know. I just wanted to dress you like my doll because
I know.
I just want to I want like a little sister that I can like dress up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like taller than you and you're like putting stuff on me. Like, nope, this doesn't feel right. Bright pink, nope. It was fun.
So you don't really gravitate towards like bright, like bolder colors, is that right? Or like even jewel tones, like would that be too yang for you?
I think that's what I was talking about when I was like thinking about aspirational shopping. Like there are
Mhm.
definitely a lot of years where I was like, I really want to wear that like bright magenta silk dress. And then like I order it online, which, when I was in a much bigger body, like there was nothing my size in person anyway.
I
So I had to do
know.
everything online.
I
So
know.
it comes here, it's like bright red and bright magenta, and it looks so loud on me and it feels so loud and I'm so uncomfortable with it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think maybe that's where parts work would have been really helpful. Like 10 years is what I'm talking about, 10 years
Interesting.
ago.
Mhm.
Like, well, why is it so uncomfortable for me to be
Yeah.
this loud? Like I'm already the tallest woman in the
No.
room. I'm already like the
Mhm.
person who talks a lot in the room. Like, why is color so much more difficult for me than other things?
Interesting. Yeah, and you would notice like I don't know, like a lot of negative self-talk or what happened when you had those moments?
It's a good question. I don't know if it was negative self-talk, but it was like it just felt like grating against my energy. Like just so much discomfort where I wouldn't leave the house wearing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's I mean, yeah, I mean, if we were working together, if you had an IFS therapist to work with, I'm sure there's a lot of material there. not,
Yeah.
no pun intended, material that, yeah, may or may not be related to the actual like clothing, right? It may not even be about that. It may be something so much deeper, and your protective parts are the ones that are like having an issue with the clothing, and there's something else that's a little bit more tender, right? And so it'd be
Yeah.
really interesting to see, like, okay, like, if that was a tender exile, let's say, that had feel, there's something about image, or I don't even know, but there's some material there that's about something else besides just like, how you're presenting yourself. If that was healed, right? If whatever was carrying some burden about something, if that was like released, would that also have some kind of effect on how you dress, right? Or how you
Yeah.
adorn yourself? Like, would that change as well? So yeah, that's my curiosity.
Yeah.
Or, or are there just these things that, okay, my skin doesn't like the way wool feels,
Yeah.
or like, I really just don't like the color orange. This is not true. I love the color orange, but I'm saying, like, for all of you listening, like, these things that we just maybe just don't like or have a preference against or towards, like, I think that exists on a superficial level that may have nothing to do with what your exiles are carrying.
Yeah.
But there could also be some information there too, maybe, because
Yeah.
I think that, like, sometimes, like we were talking about, what color, like, am I a spring or am I an autumn? And sometimes we hear things that, like, we hear people saying things about themselves that I can't help but think, like, there's got to be something else to that. Like, you hear somebody say, like, I don't look good in, I don't know, blue, or like,
Yeah.
doesn't look good with me, or like, just the things that we say, or I don't look good in like this type of dress or this type of shirt. And I don't know, I'm like, where are we getting that information? Like, is that what we heard from parents, or is that just like a part of us that feels insecure about something, or is like, criticizing ourselves for something, or there's a lot of possibilities, but it feels like it could be coming from a part, if it's pretty intense or is pretty extreme in
Yeah.
what it believes. And it's like, I can never wear brown. I feel terrible in it. I look terrible in it. And if it's like, it's got that intensity, it's like, okay, like maybe, but like, where is that coming from? Like, is that, and I hear that so much, like, just like casually, people
Yeah.
have so many rules about clothing, color, like form, like, or not caring at all and just wearing the same thing every day. And it's really fascinating. And to me, it feels like there's got to be parts involved
So much.
from these like rigid rules that we make up. And I also know that, yeah, sure, there's probably preferences too. Like, I just love pink. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's maybe coming from parts, or it's coming from my soul. I don't know. But, I'm sure there are just like things that we like or dislike, and it doesn't have to be this much larger, possibly traumatic issue. Yeah.
Yeah. When you said, like, choosing to wear the same thing every day, like, that to me, I think I've had that experience where, like, 3 or 4 weeks, so I don't wanna think about it. I wanna wear a white t-shirt and jeans, like, not
Yeah.
have to care, because there are so many, you can take so many missteps,
Mhm.
if your parts are like, "Well, I have to look good. I have to do all these things."
Mhm.
And so you just
Mhm.
decide to do the safe route. I think
Mhm.
that is a really good information for when you just need a break. You need
Yeah.
a little bit less information. You need a little bit less of a triggering kind of
Yeah.
experience with
Mhm.
how you express yourself, so that maybe when you return to the idea of self expression, you're more refreshed, or you're more able to make decisions or choices over sticking to
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah. I think it's totally common to have like your go-to, like, I'm actually pretty casual. I love my statement pieces, but I'm actually pretty like, I have so many like, you know, I don't know, sports clothes, as we'll call it, like my yoga stuff or whatever I wear to play tennis. Like, I'm pretty much in, a t-shirt or like some kind of leggings or a zip up hoodie. Like, pretty much, like, if I'm not in like a fun outfit, just gonna throw that on, even if I'm just sitting at home or
Yeah.
like doing errands or something. Like, and that's maybe like really common for everybody now, but that is where I feel most comfortable too, where I can
Is
like
jeans.
move around.
Yeah.
Jeans are so uncomfortable. No.
Oh, really?
I mean, I like jeans and I like the way they look, but I find them incredibly uncomfortable. Like, and I know it depends on the fit, the style, the material, but like real, like good denim is also not that comfortable. Like it's like if there's stretch to it, like then you can move and it's like comfortable, but then you're just wearing like stretchy, like something like pretty unnatural. And then I might as well just wear some other types of pants. But like denim isn't comfortable. And I don't think it's supposed to be because it's supposed to be workwear. It's supposed to be what you wear, to do ranching or
Yeah,
like do
protective.
your chores on the farm. And it's not supposed to be this like, I don't know, thing you wear every day. And I think especially for like female bodies, most things and now like baggy is cool, thank God. So there's a little bit more room for us to move and breathe. But remember, like, the 2010s, like, the aughts were all about, like, the skinny jeans, which
Yeah.
a lot of them did have stretch, but also, like, not comfortable.
Mm-mm.
And, like, the whole low-rise phase, now that's coming back, I'm, like, also not comfortable. And that's, like, for very specific body types that work, and
Hmm.
it's just, like, for most of us, it's not functional. You don't wanna wear that every day. I
I
don't really like it. Although I did just get some new Gap carpenter jeans yesterday from Poshmark that are
nice.
cheetah print, and they are very comfortable. So even though I was like, "I hate jeans," I think I could wear those, like, on the regular. So thank you, Gap. I love Gap.
Yeah. It really does depend on like how thick the denim is. Yeah.
Yeah. You like jeans? Are you a jeans
I
person?
I I like jeans. I exclusively
Really?
wear 100% cotton
Yeah.
jeans. So they don't have stretch to them, but I do like the styles that are like the thinner denim. The thick denim,
Mhm.
I only have a couple of those. And
Yeah.
yeah, those are like outside pants. Like if I'm
Yeah.
going outside into like I don't know what I'm gonna do that day, like a
Mm.
field or,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
easy. Yeah. Anyway, where should we go from here with this topic?
Well,
What would
where
be helpful?
where I mean, I think what you were saying, like, about just I think let's get into Venus and
Okay.
more about, like, what do people wanna know? People wanna know, like, what they should be wearing
Okay.
for their
Okay.
Venus and for their charts, right?
Yeah. And like what we do on this podcast a little too often, maybe not often enough, is like, well, you just have to know. You have to make a relationship with your Venus in order to find out. Like I
True.
will say that. And also there are some things that you can glean from your Venus placement.
Mhm.
If the foundational understanding of Venus is that she's the planet of love and connection. She's
Mm.
often the planet that shows us what we care about enough to spend time thinking about it or being around it or being
Mhm.
influenced by it. So, in general, someone who has Venus in Aquarius is possibly more interested in like politics or humanitarian efforts than another Venus placement. So that's something you can think about is like you can look up your archetype. So whatever sign your Venus is in can kind of show you your subject matter, and that can give you a lot of ideas of textures, materials, colors, and everyone's talking about it right now. So you can find a lot of information on that.
Yeah, apparently
Another
this
thing
is
to think of,
trending. I didn't know that. You
yeah,
told me that.
another thing about Venus is that her like verb is to connect or
Mm.
to like become together, to come together. And so if we think about that as like what do we wear in order to signal to another person who's like us that we're like them? So that's
Yeah.
another way, like it's a nuanced difference to like dress like your Venus sign because that's the archetype, and then there's dress like your archetype because you want people who are of your archetype to find you. You know what I mean? The other thing I was thinking about we could talk about is with your Venus sign, whatever sign your Venus is in, there's always like a shadow side, there's a light side. So like when does your Venus outright expressing themselves through you, and when is your Venus protecting themselves by wearing something? And that could be
Yeah.
like literally like a veil or a coat
Mm.
or a hat or sunglasses. Like I think there are
Wow.
ways that some Venus signs protect or cover themselves where other Venus signs wouldn't do it that way. So something to think about. Okay, so I think
Yeah,
Chelsea
that's really
had a thought.
fascinating. I have so many thoughts, KP. Well, so for the Venus sign, what'd you say there? You said archetype. No, you said like the content, or there's some word you used about
Subject matter.
the subject matter. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
say more about that. Like, so would my like Gemini subject matter be, is that what I would look at? Like Gemini?
Yeah. I mean, this translates so smoothly to like the artist work too. So, like, what type of work you make tends to be in the Gemini archetype's subject matter. And Gemini subject matter is not as easy to pinpoint because it's an air sign.
Uh,
Like Virgo subject
yeah,
matter is the medical field, plants, herbs. Like,
really?
you know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
Gemini is there's a wide berth of interest in the
Oh,
Gemini subject matter, but it would be in
we
general
like
like
it all.
language, chatting, people, conversation,
Podcast.
maybe podcasts, cultural exchange, anything where there's a lot of like back and forth is Gemini subject matter. And so it's more conceptual and more nebulous,
That's
and there's a lot of variety.
cool. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So you could
That
apply that
makes
to
sense.
the art you make and also maybe what you choose to wear as your expression. And
Interesting.
we're not talking about the rising sign or your moon sign right now. We're just
Yeah.
talking about Venus as the subject matter.
That's yeah, that's really fascinating. I mean, I think variety matters for me. Yeah. I also you said something a while ago about like, how aspirational you feel about like what you can conceive in your head and then like having difficulty finding it, or it becoming a tangible object. And I think for artists that, well, for me being an artist, that feels difficult because I get ideas of like, or flashes of like, oh, I want like this type of top in like fire red,
Yeah.
and then I wanna wear this kind of necklace. Like, I get flashes like this quite often. Like, I got a hit to make, like, these crocheted, like, bright yellow, like, chartreuse color pants, so I'm making them right now, but, like, I get these ideas and I can't find them in places, and that's why I feel like I've become, like, so DIY, or, like, that's why I make stuff or make my own clothes, or learned how to knit, learned how to sew, because I get these ideas and like I can't find them out in the world, and or it's like not the right size, or it's not exactly the way I want it. Like I get these ideas coming to me and then I have to make them tangible because that's the only option. Like I can't
Yeah.
go to a store and get them. So I don't know if that has anything to do with my Venus. It feels kind of Venus to me, or it feels Gemini, like that I get these like pings and ideas. Everything starts as an idea,
Yeah.
and then I have to make it real. And so it's really exciting to be able to make your own clothes and stuff, and not rely on just hoping you find it somewhere or like shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that would speak to in the birth chart other than like keep doing it because that's exciting. It's expressive. It's interesting to me to think about the Gemini archetype as like the synthesis, like bringing two things together to have a brand new thing.
Mm,
So like when two things come together, there's a third thing either in between them or that results from them. That's the
yeah.
Gemini energy. So that kind of sounds like that. Like this exists and this exists, but you need both things to be put together to make the thing
Yeah.
that you want to exist. Yeah, that could
Yeah.
be something. Yeah.
Fun.
So
Yeah.
Venus's subject matter, the way I kind of translate that is like if we're thinking about jewelry, like in
Hmm.
we're thinking about gift giving. Let's talk about that. Like you want to give a gift to your mom who has Venus in Libra, and you want to give her jewelry, which is probably uh, a no-no because she has Venus in Libra, which means that she probably knows exactly what she wants to wear because
Uh,
she has the Libra archetype, the discernment archetype. Okay, but let's say that you are going to give her jewelry because you know her style very well. You're probably not going to choose a piece of jewelry that has like a blade in it because Venus or Libra is of the sign of Venus, ruled by Venus, and Venus it doesn't like to cut things apart. You wouldn't
no.
want something that's garish or loud or
Hmm.
too
Hmm.
abrasive as the subject matter. Like it's like a guideline, and I think there are moments where we want to break those guidelines for ourselves, but it doesn't feel natural to us. If that makes sense. Like I don't think I'll ever wear a bubblegum pink like anime hairstyle kind of thing because I have Venus in Scorpio. Like I like to wear like darker things that have like texture or like little secret details and stuff like that. And that feels natural to me but I do sometimes like to wear a pin that's like a rainbow, or something that's smaller
Yeah.
that is more maybe Gemini energy that I don't have in my birth chart, because I do want to express whimsy or joy that's
Mhm.
not natural to me, but it is natural to be expressing as a human, right? Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
Yeah, I think yeah, whimsy is a good one. I feel that in my Gemini,
Yeah.
Venus. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, whimsy.
Yeah. Where would you
Mhm.
wear like a full leather, like zip up outfit
No.
with like with Neo sunglasses from the Matrix?
Neo, that'd be sick. Only for Halloween.
Only for Halloween.
I've, like, purchased so many leather jackets, and I always, like, think, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna look cool in that," and then it just doesn't feel right. Like, I like
Yeah.
more obviously, I like more colored leather than black,
Yeah.
and, like, I feel cool for a second, but I'm like, "This just does not feel like me," and also, leather is kind of uncomfortable to wear.
Yeah. It can be.
Yeah. It's like, you can't move, you're just like
Yeah. I only like it when it's slightly like looser from the body.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
But it looks cool on so many people. Yeah, just
Yeah.
not me. Mhm, mhm.
Okay. So I have a question for you as
Yes,
someone who's certified in IFS. Like, how do you think a Venus in choose a random zodiac sign?
Aquarius.
Okay. How do you think a Venus in Aquarius would protect themselves from other people or for any reason, by what they choose to
Mm.
wear?
Ooh, this is probably more of a you question, but
No.
I because I don't know if I don't know if I could give, like, a statement about a zodiac sign without offending, but my first thought was, like, avoidance, and for Aquarius, like, as avoidance as protection. So I don't know how that would show up with clothing.
Okay, maybe the question I want to ask is like, let's say someone has Venus in Aquarius. The most stereotypical thing is that they wear something weird. So like, I
Uh-huh.
don't know what weird would be, and because the context matters, right? But like they're wearing
Mhm.
something weird, but the choice to wear something weird can be out of protection or it can be self-expression. And like, how do you, as an IFS therapist, like find
Mhm.
out which one is which?
Well, I don't know if it'd be my job as a therapist to figure out which is which.
Yeah,
Only if, like, the client is interested about finding that out, and if they're, because yeah, I mean, that's yeah, that would be really up to, like, the person to know and not for me to detect, but I could really see and just from my own life, I can see how I'm sure there were times when I was using, like, radical, unique clothing options as a way to, like, get attention, but also, like, probably keep people at a distance as well, as a signal for, like, this means this about me, or this is what I want you to think about me or to know about me, or this is like me not wanting to be normal or not wanting to be basic. So I'm going to wear this super weird outfit, which sounds like obvious about self expression. Like most people, and I don't want to, like, generalize it too much because it's great. Self expression is wonderful. But I think there's ways too that you really are putting something out there that you hope people notice or see or think about you, whether that's
yeah,
conscious or unconscious. And it's not. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. It's just it is. But I think it's cool to have some awareness around that and like what you're like kind of hoping for or intending, and if that feels congruent with what you feel on the inside, right?
yeah,
Like, does that, or is there some incongruence? And for me, there are definitely times in my life where there was incongruence, but I didn't know it, that of what I was trying to put out there and trying to be seen for didn't necessarily feel in alignment with what was going on for me internally, right? Like, there's things that I was hiding internally that I hoped people didn't see on the outside. So that's why I put up this other image, right? Because I wanted people to see that. But I was really so terrified of people actually seeing other stuff.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it's interesting to me because an astrologer recently told me that if you have Saturn in the first house, and specifically Capricorn is your first house too,
Mhm.
that you don't really do costumes and you don't really do self-expression.
Yeah.
Like you don't play with self-expression. And so
Mhm.
you and I talking about this is really interesting to me because I think that I go for resonance only, and I don't really try to
What does that
express
mean?
like desire. What does that
What
mean?
is what does that mean? Resonance with
Like
what?
resonance with my self, even though self is always moving, like your identity is always moving, but there's not a lot of space for play with
Mm,
identity for me. And
yeah.
I think for you with the Leo rising, like the Leo energy is playfulness with identity.
Mhm.
There's a connectedness to identity
Mhm.
more so than
Mhm.
maybe other signs, but there's more
Yeah.
play involved.
It's just so fun. Like, it's and a part of being an artist and living in a world where there's colors and textures and, like, wearable art. I think it's like, how do we not get so excited about this? Like,
Yeah,
how it's like, I think it's so fun, like, to be able to wear clothing and, like yeah, to dress in a certain way or have different styles, like, I think it's just a part of, like, wow, we get to do this, like, it's just really exciting to me that we get to
yeah,
express ourselves in that way, and maybe, not everyone thinks that's an exciting thing to do or express, but I mean, yeah, it's just a part of it's like a part of art in the ways that just like these are little joys for me in my life, and it's not like I have to have the most expensive things, and it really doesn't even feel about like that's important. It's like just yeah, how playful everything gets to be because it's a
yeah,
part of like living on this planet. And yeah, I guess for other people, I could really see that for the Capricorn archetype. Like that just does not what I'm saying probably doesn't seem exciting. Like they maybe get excited about other things, or they're like, I'm fine with my earth tones, leave me alone. And
or
I
it's
will wear the
like,
same jacket every day, and that makes me feel
yeah,
comfortable. But like, I don't know, like color, like I want to look like a painting every day. You know?
yeah.
And I think that's so exciting about living. And
I think that like the concept of having one signature look is more
mm, yeah.
Capricornian than Gemini, where like, or Leo, like you want to have all the available options to you to do what you want that day, where Capricorn's like,
I know.
no, it's a little bit more like this is what I want
Yeah.
to be represented as. I don't know, I think
They want
that's a loose
yeah.
statement, but yeah.
They want it, like, to be a little bit more predictable, or they are a little bit more predictable.
Well, this is interesting because I don't have Capricorn and Venus, or I don't have
I
Venus in
know,
Capricorn, so I
I
don't
know.
actually know how that would feel. I have a poet friend who has that placement though, so I'll ask them.
It just feels like they don't
Yeah,
wanna have to take the time to, like, figure out what to wear, like, that feels like more of a chore than an exciting task. Like, the time spent having to figure out, like, "Do I wear this shirt and that pant?" Like, I could see Capricorns being like, "I have work to do," or like, "Things need to get done, and I have a million other things on my plate today that either have to do or sound more exciting than figuring out my wardrobe."
that doesn't resonate with me fully because I think Capricorn energy is in for thinking about the artist, like they're so material aware
Mhm.
or material literate.
Yeah.
And I think because they are usually literate on like the objects around them, there is a lot of interest in it. So I wonder if they
Yeah.
would be more interested in like in knowing the types of denim and
Yeah.
choosing which
Ooh.
denim they want forever.
Yeah. Forever.
So I think yeah, there's a lot of intentionality that takes
Mhm.
time to develop. I'm
Yeah.
gonna think about this a while, and I'm gonna ask my friend who has Capricorn Venus about their
Yeah, we need to
style.
hear from the Capricorn
Yeah,
Venus. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I think let's keep it at let's wrap it up here because we're at an
Alright.
hour. Yeah. So what's our
Well, we
final
didn't
statement on
did we
this?
talk about oh, okay, yeah. Well, I wanna also just I don't know if we processed enough of, like, the protective aspect. Did I say
Yeah.
everything we needed to say? I mean, yeah, anything else you wanna say about that?
I'm curious if you do.
I mean, I'm thinking more of, like, ways to I'm trying to think of, like, how that shows up in my own life, and I think there's times when I know I wanna be more open, like, if I'm going out in public, and there's, like, definitely things that I'll wear, like, if I'm just, like, kind of more in a more open mood, there's certain things I'll wear, or certain silhouettes that I'll wear, and then if I'm feeling a little bit more closed, or if I'm having, like, a lot of if some parts of me are having a hard time with, like, my body that day, or I'm feeling bloated, or, there's something going on where I'm just feeling a little bit more, like, insular, and I definitely will choose specific things for those types of days where, like, maybe I don't wanna be noticed as much. I'll wear something, like, a little bit more boring or just, like, classic and kinda cover up a little bit more, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be maybe oversized or, like yeah, I don't know, and or, like, jackets or coats, a bigger sweater. Like, I definitely have those days, and that feels a little bit more protective.
Hmm. Thinking about sometimes I go out in public wearing my reading glasses.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I don't need them to see. It just makes things easier to see. And it does
Really?
make me feel like more protected. Yeah, like I can still stay inside of myself while I'm outside. And usually when I'm outside, I think this is a 12th or a 10th house sun thing. Usually when I'm out in public, I'm like very aware that I'm out in public. So
Mhm.
that does kind of like take a little bit of the edge off of being perceived for me. And
Mhm. Yeah,
that's
glasses change the
protective.
vibe. I mean, I think, like, for me too, like, I wear contacts usually, but on a glasses day, I don't wanna say I feel uglier, but I feel it's a different energy, and I have to, like, dress for that as well,
Yeah.
or, like, I want to look more sophisticated, or it's like I definitely feel like I'm being noticed for different reasons or not noticed for different reasons, and it's all in my head too. Like, I don't think I don't think anyone's, like, really treating me any differently.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm more aware of like, I give off a little bit more of a bookish vibe today, and that's cool. I wonder like what'll happen or who will talk to me or not talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I have you ever watched Bella Freud's YouTube show?
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. What is it called?
Style
Oh my gosh.
neurosis?
Oh yeah, yeah. Was style neurosis or fashion neurosis or
Yeah.
something like that? Yeah, I've only watched a little bit, and it's fascinating. It's so
It's
good.
so fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could
So
talk
everyone should watch
hours
that.
about style
Yeah,
choices. Yeah.
right? And the way just the way the whole show is done, and yeah, it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, before we wrap up, what are you wearing?
Right now,
From which house?
I
Do
am
you
pretty
know?
wait, what do you mean? Which
Like your
what?
clothing. Like which designer?
Oh, I'm like, "What?" Well, I took a shower right before I got on the call, so I had to throw on some sweatpants really quickly and just my brown, I don't know, Cardi B, which I will change after this call, and I will leave the house and dress with my Venus sign.
Well, I'm wearing a white t-shirt from Goodwill
Nice.
and lapis lazuli earrings from I think a thrift shop. Yeah,
Love
I doubt the
that.
metal is actually metal. And then I'm wearing a ring that I got at the Taj Mahal, that's lapis
Oh,
lazuli as well, because my wedding ring stopped fitting me, and this ring fits again.
thanks.
And I think that is such a Scorpio Venus thing because I got it at like one of the most intense like wonders of the world where this
Mm,
guy basically bankrupted and like imprisoned himself by building
mm,
something, a tomb for his love.
mm.
Yeah. So that's very Scorpio Venus. That's also
I
when I
love
did parts work
that.
with my Venus, that's where she showed up. So that's interesting.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Yeah. God, we didn't even
Yeah.
like yeah, we didn't even have enough time to talk about jewelry. I mean, that's a whole I think that's a separate episode because I mean, we could
Yeah.
get into talismans, we could get into like
Yeah.
protective talismans and how to use all of the adornments and accoutrement. Like
Yeah.
also another favorite topic for me. I love jewelry. I have kind of a similar earring. They're little sapphire,
Pretty.
tiny, but I got them on a Greek island 2 years ago
Cool.
from this little old lady that made them by hand.
I love that.
So I've got my little blue earrings as well.
We match.
We
Maybe we
match.
should write an essay about protective jewelry.
Oh, for sure. Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll do an episode. We'll write an essay about it too. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I feel like there's more that I need to I feel like this topic today is not finished yet either. I feel like
It's
there's
not.
more for us to discover and maybe even like rising sign, like dressing for your rising sign.
Yeah.
But I really wanna, like, research more about, yeah, dressing for Venus and what that how that shows up in my life, and I wanna see everyone's dressing for Venus, like, I wanna know what everyone's wearing.
Yes, please. Okay. So that's it. Thank you everyone for listening. You will hear the outro where we ask you to become our friends and message us. But here's me saying live, we are in this business to make connections. So reach out to us if you have questions. If you have any suggestions for an episode, please let us know. We are very happy to find either a guest to talk about it or we could talk about it amongst us. Also, I am currently, as of July 2026, so if you're listening way in the future, this may not be true. I'm currently wide open for book doula clients. I take 3 at a time, and I've been meeting with some people. So if you're interested in getting your book written this year or however long it takes, message me. I do one-on-one astrology readings, or I do couple readings as well. So not always one-on-one. Chelsea, how can we interact with you?
I'm on the internet, baby. And find me on IG. If you need a therapist, hit me up or not. We can just kick it and be internet friends. We're chill these days. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Just sign up for any updates with my Oracle deck as well. That's another way to interact.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for Parts and Charts, the IFS and Astrology podcast. If something sparked insight or resonated with you, we'd love to hear from you.
No, really, we're here to make friends. Reach out to us. Leave a comment, subscribe, and if you feel called, share this episode with someone you care about. Or, if you want to work with us one-on-one and go deeper with this work, check the link in the show notes for how to find us.
Until next time, may all of you feel a part of the family.